Most gardeners just toss wood ash away without realizing it's actually one of the most powerful traditional inputs ever used in food production. Long before we had bottled sprays and synthetic fertilizers, ash lye was the go-to for feeding crops, suppressing pests, and protecting plants from disease all at once. When you prepare it correctly, ash lye becomes this amazing mineral-rich alkaline solution that works as a fertilizer, fungicide, insecticide, and acaricide in a single application. And let me tell you, this isn't just folklore, it's really about chemistry and plant biology working hand in hand. So, what exactly is ash lye and why does it work so well? Well, ash lye is produced when you leach clean wood ash with water, which extracts potassium hydroxide and other soluble minerals. Hardwood ash is packed with high levels of potassium, calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, silica, sulfur, and trace micronutrients. When dissolved, these minerals become immediately available to plants, and the alkaline nature of the solution disrupts soft-bodied insects, fungal spores, mites, and even certain bacterial colonies. Now, when you use ash lye at the proper dilution, it actually strengthens plant tissue, improves flowering and fruit set, and creates a leaf surface environment that pests and diseases really struggle to survive on. The type of ash you must use is absolutely crucial, or honestly, the entire process just fails. Only ash from untreated firewood should ever be used. No painted wood, no varnished boards, no plywood, no paper with inks, no plastic, and definitely no charcoal briquettes. The ash must come from clean, natural wood that's been burned completely. Fine gray ash is ideal though. Hey, small charcoal fragments can always be filtered out later. Using contaminated ash introduces toxins directly into your soil and plants, so, really, this step is not negotiable. Now, let's talk about the exact ash-to-water ratio that produces usable lye. The working ratio is 1 part ash to 2 parts water by volume. For a practical batch, you would mix 3 containers of ash with 6 containers of water, and if each container holds 2 liters, the total volume becomes 12 liters of raw ash lye solution. This same ratio scales easily. To make 1 liter, use half a liter of ash and 1 liter of water. Tap water is acceptable. Chlorine does not interfere with the extraction process at this stage. How to mix ash lye safely and correctly. Place the ash into a non-metal container, then add the water slowly while stirring thoroughly. Ash dust is alkaline and irritating, so, wear a mask and avoid breathing it in. Stir until all dry ash is fully wetted and suspended. During mixing, unburned carbon may float to the surface. This does not affect quality and honestly, will be removed later. At this point, the solution begins extracting potassium hydroxide and, other soluble minerals. The density test is what confirms proper strength. After mixing, you'll want to test the solution using a raw potato or a fresh egg. Place it gently into the liquid. If it floats, the concentration is sufficient, but if it sinks, more ash must be added. This traditional test works because potassium hydroxide, increases the solution's density. Floating confirms proper mineral saturation without any laboratory equipment. The resting and extraction period is what really completes the process, so you'll want to cover the container and store it in the shade for about 24 hours. After that time, just skim off any floating charcoal and give it another good stir. Then, let the solution rest for an additional 2 days. A longer resting period actually increases mineral extraction, especially potassium. As it matures, the liquid will darken and develop a strong alkaline odor. This is totally normal and actually indicates that active chemical extraction is taking place. Filtering and settling are important to prevent any sprayer damage, so strain the liquid into a clean container using cloth or a fine mesh to remove any remaining solids. After that, just allow it to sit for several hours so the fine ash particles can settle at the bottom. Okay, so, carefully decant the clear liquid to avoid clogging sprayer nozzles. At this stage, you actually have concentrated ash lye. The dilution rate is what makes it safe for plants. Ash lye is, honestly, never applied full strength. The standard dilution is 1 liter of ash lye to 10 liters of clean water. This produces, well, 11 liters of finished spray. So, this dilution provides minerals without burning your foliage, and, it also creates an alkaline surface that's really hostile to insects, mites, fungi, and bacterial pathogens. Let's talk about when and how to apply it without harming your crops. You should apply ash lye in the early morning or late afternoon, when the sun's intensity is low. Midday applications can actually burn leaves, since the alkalinity combined with heat can be a bit too much. Make sure to spray the leaves thoroughly, including the undersides, and just lightly wet the soil surface around the plant. If this is your first time using it, it's a good idea to test on one section of the plant and observe for about 24 hours before going ahead with a full application. So, you should use this weekly as a preventive, or, every 7 days if you're dealing with active pest or disease pressure. So, which crops actually respond best to ash lye and, what kinds of problems does it really help control? Well, ash lye works exceptionally well on fruit trees like citrus, mango, papaya, guava, loquat, sapote, and mamey. But it's not just for fruit trees. Vegetables, roses, and ornamental plants also respond quite well to it. It suppresses aphids, mites, soft caterpillars, fungal leaf diseases, bacterial issues, and even certain cornworms. At the same time, it feeds your plants with potassium for flowering, calcium for structure, magnesium for photosynthesis, and silica for pest resistance. So, you're getting a lot of benefits from just one natural preparation. Ash lye can also be used to disinfect harvested vegetables. Just a brief rinse in a diluted solution, followed by clean water, and you're good to go. This single preparation actually replaces multiple store-bought products while rebuilding soil and plant strength naturally. If this guide helped you understand how traditional inputs can outperform modern chemicals, go ahead and subscribe to Nature's Fix for grounded, field-tested methods that build resilient gardens. And hey, share this with growers who want fewer bottles and stronger plants.